All right, so a lot of great questions and comments coming on Facebook, Twitter, all over our social media accounts here at HLN. Here's a question. Why is she saying he would make a great father if they have more children? If she thinks the world is broken, why have more? And that was one inconsistency that I saw as well in the statements made by the mother at the funeral. The world is broken, yet you want to have more children. Didn't make sense and could raise some eyebrows. Now, not necessarily defending her words. This is from Betsy. But I have heard parents say that their child is in a better place. She worded it wrong, but that is more or less what she was saying, and we hope that's what she was saying. We hope there wasn't more to it, but, you know, investigators are going to look at everything she said. Now the question I would ask, would you say that your concern should cause you to be more aware and alert of your child in their car seat? And this is what a lot of people are saying. If you were so concerned about that issue, wouldn't it make you even more alert? If the purpose of those Google searches was to find things out and you were worried about it, wouldn't you be thinking even more about it and check and double check the child seat every time you exited the car? Here's another one from Mandy. I can't find any reports as to when the internet searches were made. Can you tell me? No, I can't, Mandy. That information has not been released yet. And I know that originally the statements were actually made by the father and the mother that they had done these searches. And I don't know what search engine they were on, but all that will be coming out, we think, probably Thursday during the probable cause hearing. Here's one from Amy. Scary. I Google all types of crazy things, especially after seeing a story on TV. I just recently Googled how long does it take to kill someone with antifreeze after seeing a story about a wife killing her husband with it. So them looking at stuff like that holds no weight in my book. Was it premonition or murder? My mind is still not made up on this case. And Amy, you'd be a great juror in this case. Obviously, you haven't made up your mind. I think the difference between you looking up the antifreeze and what they looked up is, did your spouse die from antifreeze poisoning after you looked it up? See, that's the difference. All right, here's one from Sherry. I would ask, did the daycare call the parents on that day to see if the child was coming, or did the parents call the daycare at all? If so, what dates and times? Does the father go into the daycare to retrieve the child, or does he just go get in his car and take off? Well, the father was the one who's going to drop off and pick up Cooper at daycare, because the daycare was right next to, in attached buildings to where he worked. So he was the one that was going to do all of that. You can also call me with your questions as well. I'll have to call you back. But the bottom line is, we don't know the facts about whether or not they usually checked with daycare, if daycare was expecting, if daycare would call if the child didn't show up. Those are unknowns at this point. And it's not sure if this was, you know, every day he would go to this daycare, or some days maybe he'd stay with mom. Just not clear yet. Again, Thursday is the day we should find out more. Here's one from Judith. It's most alarming to me that the authorities are trying this case in the... Yeah, I'll have to call you back. Sorry. Telemarketers, right? It's most alarming to me that the authorities are trying this case in the arena of public opinion by feeding information which may or may not be true constantly to the press. Judith, that's not what's happening here. They're answering a few questions, but most of the information is coming from public documents, search warrants that are public documents. That's just the law. That's the way they do it in Georgia. It's not secret search warrants. It's not secret affidavits. Everything becomes a public record. Then what the press can do is request those public records like any other citizen could go request those public records. So that's what's happening here. It's not the prosecution or DA or investigators feeding the press in this case. So again, you have any questions, comments, keep them coming. HLN on the case.